Watu wa Eldoret ndio city. City haina ghorofa hata moja bana. Hapa ndio CBD Eldoret. Unaona? Nyumba kubwa ni hii. Na ni rojo bana, Cheki, hii ndio city bana. Kama hii ni city, si hata Rogai na Isirizi kuwe city pia. Chekini. Hapa sasa ndio CBD kabisa. Hapa ndio the what? The heart of Eldoret town. Angalia nyumba zenye ziko hapa. Zilijengwa 1909. Cheki. Hapa ndio CBD kabisa kabisa. Hakuna hata iko na first floor. Hii ni mchezo bana. Hii ni mchezo. Hii ni nini sasa? Alafu cheki, nimefika mwisho wa town. Nimefika mwisho. Mwisho wa city. Cheki, hizi ndio nyumba ziko city. Hata unaweza dhania uko Kapsabet.
Really fair for 7 years hatujalipwa nini bank loans, alafu mtu anakuambia fanya kazi 8 months contracts wajalipwa, unaambia mtu washa choo aje. Sasa aje president, please, sisi tulikupigia kura roho safi kama Moi University 99%. Tulikupigia kura tukijua utaokoa Moi University. In fact, instead of Moi kuokoka, Moi imekufa zaidi. Sisi tunaomba president, kesho ukifungua city, kuja Moi. Ukimalizana na city, it is not city without Moi University. Moi University is the pride of Eldoret. Moi University is everything to Eldoret. Watoto wetu wanasoma Moi University. Tumezaa watoto wengi hii Eldoret University na wanatushinda kwa mishahara, wanatushinda kwa pesa. Tukienda bank tunadharau. Unatoka wapi? Moi University. Unaangaliwa from head to toe. Are you really from Moi University? Sincerely speaking, wacha tu niongee. President Samoe, Dr. William Ruto, kuja okoa Moi University. Kama ni kuchange management na council change, sisi tupone ama tukufe.
Reactions after Eldoret was elevated to a city status. Mixed feelings as the residents of Eldoret are having different perspective of what exactly is the priority at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that politicians are fond of optics, what the voter can see. And we seem to be doing a lot of physical billboards about launching this and launching that. There is a very big comparison between what the president is doing and what other presidents in the continent and even in the world are doing. And the recent elevation of Eldoret city is attracting, some doubts on whether it really met the threshold. There was a last-minute rush in it. And if you look at this statue, it was actually done by the county government of Uasin Gishu. And Kenyans went to social media complaining that that was a joke, a shoddy work. If you look at that screenshot here, Kenyans called that sort of it a joke. We know very well that, of course, the county government would want to market Eldoret as the city of champions because most athletes come from that region. Really, good kudos to them. Out of 8 medals in Africa, 4 are from Kenya. So we actually lead in the continent. Just the last Olympics performance. Africa as a continent got 8 gold medals. And out of those 8, 4 came from Kenya. So there was an ambition by the government to market Eldoret as a city of champions. And because athletes is one of export tourism, sport tourism tool we have, sport tourism product we have, it stands a good chance to market Eldoret. But if you look at the way that screenshot by BBC, did the country goof in just an excellent opportunity. And in fact, the planners of elevating Eldoret, they were very keen, because remember that was supposed to be done on 8th. It was supposed to be on 99 and the 8th of August. That was last week. But it was postponed because the organizers wanted it to coincide with, of course, the reception of the Olympics, the athletes that participated in the Olympics. So everything stood fine, and the timing was right. If someone wanted to market Eldoret as a city of champions, the boxes on timing was right. The products, what was to use, the symbols that was to use, the athletes, the marathoners, they also performed, and they had medals from Paris. But the people that organized it from Eldoret really rushed it. And if you ask me, they goofed, because the whole world really came to realize. They came to realize, okay, there is a city that where Faith Kipyegon and the others, the Kipchoges, come from, is going to be elevated. But the country goofed on marketing Eldoret. If you ask me, the more these things came through, it was a big problem. The statue by Faith that was erected in Eldoret had to be removed after Kenyans raised questions and said that was not it. And then I think the glamorous event, probably we need to give credit to the reception that we gave the athletes. It was right in order, because we had really been complaining that the athletes are selling Kenya abroad there, but we are doing some injustice to them back home. And without really just trying to stay objective, elevation of Eldoret was hatched for just mere political atonement reasons. When you listen to the speech by the president in Eldoret yesterday, and there's this speech that has gone viral where he's saying that protect this city from protests so that mambo zisichome and this and that. I want you to hear this, then you realize I may want to hear the president talking about why the residents of Eldoret should feel very proud and very happy of what exactly is happening there.
Inakaa chonjo na inachangia katika kupeleka taifa letu la Kenya mbele. Mimi nawashukuru jameni. Ile kitu moja tu mimi nawaomba. Sawa sawa? Ile kitu moja mimi nawaomba. Mimi nawaomba tuchunge hii city. Sawa sawa? Hii city isifanyiwe fujo. Isiletewe vita. Mali isichomeke katika hii town. Watu wa Eldoret mnanipatia hakikisho kwamba hakuna mtu atachoma hii town yetu. Hebu nione wana wanasema ati mnanipatia hakikisho. Mimi nataka niwaambie, the spirit of destruction, the spirit of violence, we do not want that spirit in the Republic of Kenya. We are a democracy. We sort out our issues in a democratic, peaceful and stable manner. We do not want violence in our politics. We do not want violence in our discourse. We want peace. We want to live together because we are a democratic nation and we sort out our issues using the power of the ballot. Ni kweli ama si kweli jameni? Hii Eldoret nilisikia ati kulikuwa na fujo hapa. Ati kuna watu wanataka kuchoma hii Eldoret. Hawa watu wa kuchoma hii city washindwe kabisa. Ama mnasemaje watu wa Eldoret? Mnataka hii town ichomeke? So mimi nataka niwaulize kwa unyenyekevu, we want to hold the city together. We want to hold the country together. Mimi nimesema juzi, nimetengeneza serikali ya kuunganisha Wakenya wote pamoja. Nimetengeneza serikali ambayo italeta sura ya Kenya pamoja, pande zote za Kenya pamoja. And I have said, it comes a time in a nation when the interest of the nation supersedes the interest of political sides or the interests of individuals or the interests of leaders. And that is such a moment that today the interest of Kenya is greater than the interest of any political side. And that is why, united, together, as a people of Kenya, we want to journey into the future so that we can focus on the transformation of Kenya, on the prosperity of our nation.
There are many dividends of a town being elevated to city. Of course, it's supposed to attract some investments. It's supposed to attract some strategic offices. For example, if some NGOs or global newsrooms want to establish their bases, they can establish their bases, their bureaus. Now they can decentralize from Nairobi to other cities. Even the funding, there is a funding that they will get. Now when Uasin Gishu is getting money, Uasin Gishu is a county, one of the parameters that shall be considered is Eldoret as a city, because Eldoret is in Uasin Gishu. But I think the president fell short of that. His speech and that statement, sometimes you listen to all we said, but that statement is one that was trending. That is the statement that was trending because Kenyans were trying to draw parallels. What exactly is the president's ambition with it? And in fact, if you ask me, the reason why president was in Eldoret is well explained in that video I've just played for you. It was that bit of political atonement. But the president's handlers must also be very careful of the Eldoret launching is part of fake projects being launched all over the country. Look at this. Kenyans were talking about this is electricity. These are things, Kenyans are ridiculing or rather trivializing what the president's been launching. Just recently saw this by Morasa asking about talking about Morara, I think yes, Morara, talking about, he interviewed some young boy in Murang'a a day after the president launched a project there. And this is what came out of that interview.
Saidi ya Oduor. Kirugu.
Hapa ni Kirungu.
Yes.
So rais alikuwa amekuja hapa, si ndio?
Yes.
Alikuwa ame-launch project ya stima.
Yes.
Ali-launch kwa boma gani?
Ali-launch hapa kwa Liba.
Kwa hii?
Yes.
Huyu
ni anko yangu.
Huyu ni anko yako? So hawa ni majirani?
Yes.
So nyinyi kwenu ni wapi?
Hapa.
Ni hapa next?
Yes.
So anko yako yeye aliwekewa stima.
Yes.
Mbona nyinyi hamna stima?
Hatukuwekewa stima juu mzazi wangu hakuwa na uwezo wa kununua hizo vitu.
Kuna vitu zenye zilikuwa zinafaa kununuliwa? Vitu kama nini?
Nilikuwa kununuliwa meter box. Hivi.
Vitu kama meter box.
Yes, ufanye hadi wiring hivi kidogo ili.
So it's true, Eldoret launching was part of I want to launch. I just want to launch. And I think that if I were president's handlers, I will stop this. I would actually try to advise president otherwise if I will be in that position, because the public is getting hoodwinked by all the bravado of president has launched. And I want us to look at these two critical sectors. We are displaying billboards of schools being launched, of administration blocks being launched, of, dormitories being launched, and some universities being launched. But the leadership must be very objective and in fact, according to me, they must be very truthful if they really want to fix the country. I want to say this and I want to repeat. This country does not have deficit of schools. It's not a bigger problem than the quality of education and funding of education. And the funding of education is the biggest problem. We have problems of dormitories here and there, which can well be sorted. And for them, they are even sorted by the CDF. So it's just like the CDF is not enough, but it's being sorted. But if you look at the education sector, listen to these two videos.
Why should we keep on complaining all the time? Even that PS at the State Department for University Education, has she earned 65% of her salary? The people from Treasury, have they earned 65% of their salary? Why must we keep on quarreling all the time? Well, people are paid and they don't know what to do. But when they meet the president, they are saying the new funding model is working quite well. The other day, if I can remember, when the president was being interviewed, the president said that he has injected additional 40 billion. If he injected that additional 40 billion, why are we not feeling the impact as members of the university community? Where has the 40 billion gone to? If it is true that 40 billion was injected in higher education sector, we have not felt the impact. Why do we have delayed salary every year? Or somebody has mismanaged the 40 billion. Another thing, what we are asking, you have reduced capitation for continuing students, and you have failed to release money from the new funding model. Where do you expect universities to get the money to bridge the gap? Jokers. Or can we assume that they have been given money and they have been mismanaged? 40 billion is not a joke. But all in all, no learning in September. All in all, know it. There will be no learning as from September. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever for the youth.
Teachers are heading on strike. WASU, the university staff, are heading on strike. And just recently, we were told about the challenges of capitation. The problem we have in this country is not the buildings we are launching here and there. The problem we have as a country is funding. Even if you have a dormitory, you built a very good administration block, but the teachers there are not well remunerated, we are still in a problem. You can launch an administration block here and there. You can even launch a desk in some school. But truth be told, however much we do that, but capitation to schools is still a problem, we are still doomed. I've been seeing president going to universities, some technical institutions, and now moving, like launching some ICT hubs here and there. If you go to the university, the headache that students and parents are having is, what is next semester's fee? Because it keeps on changing. You dispatch letter, the president was speaking in Kisii that now the letters that parents have received, they must disregard those letters because there will be new letters to be issued. Now that is the point where we are. The problem is not about the buildings we are moving, launching. In Eldoret, the problem is not about how the paper we've done and the glamorous event of elevating us as a city. But I'm told there are some very, I'm told Eldoret town, the road is not Eldoret, is not city-like. The roads have not been done. Even within the pavements, even within Eldoret, are not even yet done. So before we get to that level, in fact, I was asking, before we even go think about it, we would have at least even issued an order, say, let's paint the buildings, the old buildings in Eldoret. Let's paint them, probably a specific color. You give that town an identity. For example, Nakuru was known as the cleanest city. Yes. If you look at Kisumu, Anyang' Nyong'o have really tried to do some beautification. I may not be sure what Nairobi is known for. Neither is Mombasa. But Mombasa is known as the beach city. So what is the identity of Eldoret? I know we will want to identify as the city of champions, but we failed in it. We goofed by those statues. And if that was the plan, the world does not say it so. Because that was the opportunity. They just needed to do a very beautiful statue. The athletes that will attract the global attention and say, yes, wow. They needed the wow feeling, but they goofed with it. Now, the president relaunched a cancer center in Kisii. And I saw women dancing and marveling at it. But let me show you. The problem, and this I've been seeing, we are elevating these hospitals to level 5 and level 4. I've seen those statements. But is that the problem in the health sector? No. Look at this story. I've just been looking at this story here. That I think here, cancer drugs donated to Kenyatta National Hospital were diverted to a private hospital in a rip-off exposing the heartlessness of the country's graft lords. So that cancer center in Kisii, if we cannot sort such heartless and stupid corruption in the heart, I don't know whether I'm using the right word, stupid, but I think that is it. There is nothing else to say about it. This pains me because in this channel, I have many requests of people who want medical appeals. And I've seen the problem in the medical space. It is funding and drugs. If Kenyatta National Hospital drugs can be diverted to private facility, then what are you telling us? Even if you establish that cancer center, it do not have drugs, will it help? If you elevate level 5 to which level? Hospitals to all level 5. But the nurses there are still getting peanuts. And they are always on the street asking for which CBA to be implemented. Aren't we finding, don't you see that the president is going in public with a lot of publicity issues, but in real sense, the software is collapsed. The software is collapsing. Education and health is not the hardware, it is the software. Are the teachers funded? The biggest issue here is NHIF. People Daily did an article about how private hospitals are not getting approvals for NHIF. And how someone had a surgery that was supposed to cost 1.7 million. Then NHIF only approved 350,000 against a demand, or rather an estimated amount of around 1 million. I think it was around 800,000. And then there are also reports of some other NHIF claims are just being rejected without any valid reason. And it shows you the colossal rot, the deep rot at the NHIF. So this country is not going to be solved by the hardware. The president is going to launch a water tap, going to launch a socket. But in the whole village, funding for you to be connected to power is still a problem. We must sort the software. And in fact, these hot air projects are just aimed to excite the crowds. Launch a water tap there, then a multitude of people are organized around that place. Then you do all manner of political statements, campaigns here and there, then you drive, go. After that, it's only one home that has been connected. So they want to excite the crowd because the president knew very well that the public did not feel comfortable with some of those things that had been said. The Gen Z passed vote of no confidence on the president. So I can tell you, this is the problem. The Gen Z protest was a vote of no confidence, that Mr. President, we are not confident that you are leading this country in the right direction. So all this street hula baloo is to try to prove a point. And you will see the bloggers taking photos of how the president has attracted a huge crowd in a town while he's at the center of this, it's at the center of the city. He has attracted a huge crowd there, and so they want to hear what he's saying. Gen Z passed a vote of no confidence. And that is what the president's handlers do not want to see. Ruto is looking for political visibility. But I wish he would get visibility in the right manner, because some of these things, in fact, some roads have been launched twice. Even that Kisii Cancer Center was launched and it was relaunched. Had been launched by former President Uhuru Kenyatta. It was being launched again. So you realize, you wonder, how many launchings are being done? Chemususu project in Baringo was launched twice and established contact with hatters. In fact, Ruto is struggling very much. And that's why he's gone back to villages and he's carrying his own tea. By the way, someone should not lie to you that tea being taken was prepared by those women in the villages. No. They carry their tea, they go there, serve that tea, take photos, then masquerade as now they want to establish the contact with the people. Because one thing that happened is that after the last, one of the issues that President Ruto faced is, before the Gen Z protest, is he was not in touch with the people. So that is why he's taking that turn of trying now to establish a contact with the population. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my trick. Let's meet in the next.